Hey guys, welcome to the channel. As you see in the thumbnail, what if Deku become a Wolverine and married with Midnight Part 1. Before I start, please do support for more awesome content, and subscribe my channel and like this video, and also share this video with your friends. I have created my other videos playlist, there you can watch my all videos easily, check out as well. Let's start this video. Man, today sure was intense running class at UA. Said a woman walking home as the hero school ended some time ago. The woman is a curvaceous woman with long black hair and blue eyes. Her clothing is very similar to one of the traditional dominatrix. She wears a black breastless leotard over a white bodysuit, which emphasizes her breasts, body, and legs, along with translucent black thigh-high stockings and black knee boots. She has a small mask outlining her eyes, a handcuff on each wrist, and a utility belt around her hips. She sports a red domino mask. Breast sizes G-cup. Her name is Namuri Kayama, and she is one of pro heroes in the world full of heroes, about 80% of the population. She is also known by her hero code name. The 18-plus only hero Midnight, who enjoys dominating villains and others through her sexy charm and her quirk. Namuri looks up to the sky, seeing how it's all crimson red, thinking how beautiful it is, then she suddenly begins to look sad. I hope All Might is doing okay. Namuri worried. It has been 2 days since the epic fight, the symbol of peace hero, All Might, after he defeated the most dangerous and powerful villain in the whole world, but he was majorly injured as a prize for his victory. He's been sent to the top best hospital though in secret. All Might wants to keep this battle in the dark, so that everyone can still believe he's the symbol of peace of the world, and always has a smile on his face whenever he faces danger. Although, this worries the female hero and some other heroes who know the battle and his condition that he'll still be the same. Namuri looked at the sky some more, and saw a big puff of black smoke rising to the sky before looking away. Wait, smoke. She quickly looks up again to see that it is definitely smoke coming from somewhere in an apartment building and sprint towards where the smoke is. Hopefully to find nobody is hurt, but she'll prove to be wrong. Once she made a sharp turn in the corner of the street, she saw that only one apartment room was set on fire. Seeing as the rest of the building seemed to be unharmed, she ran again into the building, reaching the smoking room. She made it to the door immediately, opening it, instantly knowing that something has happened here, rushing in to see some holes, and almost everything is broken into pieces. There are flames all around, burning mostly everything it touches, but she didn't care. Hello? Anyone here? Narumri called out, hoping to find any survivors here. She heard nothing at first and called out again for a few times. After a moment of silence, she finally heard something aside from the burning sounds, a soft groan coming from one of the rooms, probably the one closest to Midnight. She was about to run towards that room until she suddenly tripped on something which happened to be a fire extinguisher. Lucky, huh? Namuri uses this to take out some of the fire around, even though she knew one wouldn't be enough to clear out the whole room as the fire keeps spreading. She just needs to get to that person. Once she reached that room with the door open, she found a woman lying on the ground in a small pool of her own blood. Midnight quickly went to the victim's side, checking it. She's alright. Hey, you alright? Talk to me. Midnight said, seeing if the woman would respond. My son took him. The woman said heavily, like she's dying. They? Who took your son? Did they started this fire? Midnight asked, but the woman couldn't speak much due to the state she's in, but she nodded. They came for him for his quirk, she answered. The sexy hero then notices her wounds to be deep, one bullet wound to the stomach. To Midnight's fear, this woman was beyond saving. Damn it, whoever those bastards are, they're gonna pay. Midnight declared, clutching her fists in rage. The dying woman looks towards the bed and reaches her hand at it. Something floats from under the bed and onto the palm of her hand. She held it up to Midnight, gesturing to her to take it. One of the men's phones took it without them knowing. The woman painted as her arm begins to shake like jelly. Please, save my son. All he ever wants is to be a hero like All Might. The woman pleaded as tears flowed from her eyes. Don't worry, I promise I'll save him and I'll see to it that he'll become a great hero. Midnight promised, grabbing the hand with the phone. What is your son's name? Midnight asked. Izuku. She spoke her final word. The woman smiled, knowing she can trust a hero woman, as her arm became limp, and her eyes closed for one last time. The life within the woman is gone forever, dying in the arms of a pro hero, as Midnight began to shed tears, feeling regret for not saving her sooner, and maybe her son too. Midnight carries the body out of the room, while noticing some loud noises coming from below, looking down to see the fire department has finally arrived with some pro heroes as well. 3 months later, Namuri stands in front of the grave of the woman who died in her arms 2 months ago, learning her name to be Izuku Midoriya, who was a lovable and caring mother. She attended her funeral a week after her death with some people who knew her and were closest to her, offering their prayers and respects to her, wishing her a safe journey to heaven. She comes visiting the grave whenever she can, standing there feeling the guilt of not saving her. Then she hears footsteps coming from behind. What do you want in Izawa? Namuri asked, feeling no mood to talk to anyone right now. Just came to see how you're doing. The man Izawa walked up to Namuri's side. Izawa, also known by his hero name Eraserhead, is a slender man of average height with messy, shoulder-length black hair that partially hangs in front of his face, and often half-open black eyes. Sports a ragged black outfit that consists of a long-sleeved shirt and matching pants that tuck into his boots. He also wears a utility belt and his signature scarf at all times. He hides a pair of yellow goggles underneath his scarf for when he needs to use them in battle. To think, this sort of thing happened right after All Might's big battle. Aizawa said, though he may not show it, but Aizawa too feels guilty for the loss of an innocent life. I will find those bastards and save Izuku. I'd made a promise to her, even if it takes me a lifetime. Nomuri is determined to fulfill that promise. Well, lifetime may be sooner than you think. Aizawa mentioned confusing his fellow hero. He held up his phone in Nomuri's face, showing her an image of a suspicious man. The owner of the phone from the crime scene. We found him, and we managed to get some info out of him, including where the boy is. Aizawa informed me. Midnight's eyes widen in shock, then quickly change into the looks of determination with a hint of anger. Snowy Mountain, Canada. The helicopter flies over the side of the snowy mountain, with the pro-heroes Midnight and Eraserhead preparing themselves in case a fight breaks out, along with some soldiers by their side. The copter lands and the door slides open as the heroes and soldiers step out, looking around making sure the area is clear. According to my spy, the entrance to the secret lab should be close by. Eraserhead said. What exactly is this lab for? Midnight asked. Probably a little inhuman. They're doing experiments on young kids or teens with quirks, seeing if they can evolve further and make them living weapons for their own needs. Eraserhead recalled what the guy told him. Well, they'll be begging for mercy when I'm through with them. Midnight threatened to whip her froggy-style whip, while looking both sexy and scary at the same time. What quirk did Izuku have that they wanted him so badly? Midnight asked as they started walking to find the secret entrance. Well, about that, do you remember the hero Wolverine? Eraserhead asked, which made her confused. Wolverine, as in the vicious hero that has killed some bad guys with his metal claws, and has a healing factor like he has 2 quirks. I've heard stories about him. Midnight said, remembering some of the stories she was told when she was younger about the Wolverine. Though what this has to do with Izuku? Well, apparently, when the kid discovered his quirk, he accidentally cut himself with a knife and it healed almost instantly, then later he found bone claws coming out of his knuckles. Aizawa explained further, shocking the sexual hero. Wait, are you saying he's related to Wolverine? Midnight asked. Probably, could be his descendant. Aizawa said. What, his descendant, you sure? Midnight asked, gasp at this. Don't know, all I do know is that Izuku did inherit Wolverine's power somehow, and they must have taken him because of that. Aizawa explained. Before Midnight could ask any further, one of the soldiers called out of them. Eraserhead. Midnight. I think I've found it. He shouted. The 2 heroes quickly go to the soldier who shows them a large metal door, as they also see another soldier doing some computer hacking to open the door. Alright people, I hope you're all prepared because we may have to fight our way to save any people inside that were forced to be here against their will. Eraserhead started reading his scarf. Seconds later, the soldier cracks the security system getting the door to open, and everyone starts running in, but staying close together so they won't get separated, unless either Eraserhead and Midnight says so. It seems easy to enter the place without any guard standing at the door, in Aizawa's case it seems too easy. Getting worried that something is wrong here. He also saw claw marks and from the looks of it, something was dragging away from the door. Everyone be on guard and prepare for the worst. Eraserhead ordered. Everyone saw a light up ahead at the end of the hallway. They enter an open space area, then their eyes widen of the horrible sight they're seeing. There were dead bodies all around, some were scientists, and most were soldiers of the place. The wounds look fresh that this scene had happened not too long ago. Some blood staining on the floor and the corpses, and some electric stuff and equipment, have all been shredded, as Eraserhead thinks they're from the same guy who made the claw marks he saw earlier. Then on instinct, one of the soldiers pointed his gun at one of the tunnels, getting a weird feeling that something or someone is coming this way. Then a man carrying something on his back stepped into the light. The man has white hair with blue eyes, wearing the same uniform as the dead soldiers. Hold it, let me check. Eraserhead ordered the troops to stand down as he walked up to the man. They stare at each other for a moment or two until Eraserhead speaks. Does the carpet match the curtains? Eraserhead asked. Nope, and it never will. The man said, smiling as Eraserhead smiled too as they shook hands. Eraserhead turns back to his group. It's okay guys, this is the spy I was telling you about. Eraserhead informed. The soldiers laid down their guns. Hey, man, glad to see you're okay. Aizawa said. Yeah, and glad to see you're still grumpy about life. The spy jokes, making his friend feel annoyed. So, mind telling us what happened here? Aizawa asked, referring to the destruction here. Well, believe it or not, this little guy right here was certain of it. The spy showed them a boy sleeping on his back. The boy has dark green hair with black highlights, and 4 symmetrical freckles underneath both cheeks. Midnight instantly recognizes the boy, being the son of the dead Inko. Izuku. Midnight gasped, running to the boy, taking him off the spy. Don't worry about searching for others, he was the only one here in this lab. The spy informed. Surprised to hear that such a large place is for one kid. I'm just glad he's safe, now his mother can rest in peace. Midnight commented. That is if he remembers his mom. The spy mentioned. What do you mean? Midnight asked. The spy signs, knowing she won't like what he's about to tell her. Well, first off, the scientist did the most inhuman thing ever, coating his whole skeleton, even his bone claws, with vibranium. The spy said, shocking the 2 pros as they gasped. After that, they brainwashed into forgetting everything about his past. He went on a blind by rage rampage and as you can see made quite a mess to the place, probably killing everyone here. The spy continued on from what he saw here. I tried calming the kid down. It was tough at first, but succeeded in the end, only for someone to fire a vibranium bullet to the head and knock him out cold, but I dealt with him. The spy smirked. Midnight looks down at the sleeping Izuku, feeling sad that the boy has lost everything including himself. However, that will not stop her from keeping the promise she made to Inko to watch over and see him become the greatest hero in the world. Even greater than All Might. As she now set herself a new duty of becoming this boy's mother, she stands up with Izuku in her arms, and walks back to where they came in with a stronger determination in her eyes. In the dark room as the curtains cover the window as sunlight shines through the small openings of the curtains with a sleeping boy on the bed as he moves around a bit, he seems to be having a bad dream as he's sweating and groaning in his sleep. Dreamscape, a young boy in a dark place sitting on his knees in a large pool of blood as there are some blood stains on his clothes and few on his face. He stares at his blood-stained arms with sharp metal claws sticking out of the knuckles. His expression is that of a very frightened child scared out of his shit as he pants like he just ran through a marathon or two, yet at the same time he feels at ease feeling this is natural. Izuku, a woman called out nervously. And suddenly, the boy named Izuku throws his head up screaming in a growling roar before getting on his feet, spreading his arms out with the claws still out, ready to pounce on, then ran towards the screen, slashing his claws at the woman, as the loud horror scream let out and blood splashing out staining on the floor. Dreamscape end. Izuku screamed, throwing the bed sheet off and swinging his arms around with the claws coming out. Izuku, sweetie. A woman shouted barging in the room, revealing herself to be none other than Namiri Kayama, also known as the rated R hero. Midnight, wearing her casual clothing of an oversized sweater that goes down to her upper half of her thighs near the knees. Izuku, calm down. Namiri worried as she avoids the claws and grabs her adopted son's arm as he's still screaming a bit. Izuku, you have to calm down and breathe. Namiri said, hugging Izuku, holding down his clawed arm and stroking his green messy hair. The claws have started scratching her legs a bit. That hurt, but she didn't care. She'll take in all the pain for her child. Izuku kept growling for a moment or two, until he finally calmed down from his anger of the nightmare he experienced. He opens his eyes to see his mother holding him in an embrace, noticing his claws are out, and her legs have some scratches, bleeding a bit, putting two together of what happened. Oh my gosh, Mom, I'm so sorry. Izuku cried, returning the embrace. It's okay, sweetie, you didn't hurt me or anything. Namiri assured. The hug lasted for a few more seconds until they sat separately on the edge of the bed together. I take it you had a nightmare? Namiri asked. Izuku nodded. Yeah, it was like the ones I had before, but probably worse as it looked like I was about to kill you and I couldn't stop myself. Izuku explained, seeing his hands shaken. Namiri gently placed her hands on his to stop the shaking. Don't worry, I promise nothing bad will happen to us. Namiri smiled, moving Izuku's head to eye contact. But every day my rage gets bigger. The urges to impale my claws on someone who just pisses me off won't stop screaming in my head, and it's no help with Kakin keep lashing out at me for years. Izuku grunted, pointing out his problems. I still find it hard to believe that he and this Bakugo boy were friends when they were little kids, considering the rivalry between them. Namiri thought, remembering the time when she first met Kitsuki Bakugo, seeing his angry, lash-out behavior and how he treats others, thinking he's better than everyone because of his explosion quirk. According to the mother of Kitsuki, they used to be such close friends, always dreaming of becoming great heroes like the number one, symbol of peace all might. That is until they got their quirk developed during their childhood. It seemed that Izuku got the most attention because of his claws and healing factor, which made Kitsuki angry jealous. Izuku tried to make peace with him, wanting to keep their friendship intact, though most of the time Kitsuki just brushed him off. Kitsuki was also really mad when he found Izuku with memory loss, thinking he wasn't worth remembering, though Namiri can see a little caring concern for Izuku, even though he doesn't show it on the outside. Hey, look on the bright side, sweetie, you got one more year in middle school, then is to the hero school. UA. Namiri cheered, raising both her hands in the air, as her breast bounces a bit. Why yeah, very excited. Izuku stuttered, raising a fist. He's also blushing that he saw his adopted mom's bounce his boobs. He did his best to hide the blushing cheeks. Oh, I can't wait for you to get accepted there. We'll be able to go there together. You'll probably be in my class, though maybe not as the homeroom teacher, but it's still going to be fun. Excited with her arms pressing her breasts together, Izuku smiles, feeling happy of seeing his mother with a bright, happy expression on her face, and knowing she cares for him deeply. For as long as he can remember, Namiri has been doing her best to raise him to be a great kid living out a peaceful family life, while maintaining her jobs as both the pro heroes and teacher at UA. It was difficult at first being a single mother, but thanks to the help of her friends like some heroes in town she knows and others at the school, it's been good spending some time with Izuku, and keeping up her hero job. They even go on special occasions together, like vacation at the beach in summer or other places during the holidays, going to great events like big conversations and visiting some families. He's also been feeling a little erotic for some time in the past few years for Namiri, seeing some articles and pictures of her doing sexual poses, trying to be sexy and cool, which he finds interesting and lovely. He also began to realize that he's having a crush on his own adopted mom, though he tries his best to control himself around her, and some other girls his animal instincts suddenly find interesting. I get the feeling that it's gonna be a special experience for the both of us. Izuku smiled. I know, now let's go get some breakfast. I made blueberry pancakes, Namuri said, getting up from the bed. Okay, Izuku responded. Just as Izuku got up from the bed, he accidentally bumps into Namuri as she was walking out and the two trip over each other on the floor. Izuku groans in a slight pain from his back hitting the floor, and he feels something pressing on top of him, as he also feels lips kissing into something weird yet pleasuring sensation. He tries moving his hands around, until he feels something around and long. He was getting a bad feeling about what he's about to find out, as he slowly opens his eyes to see what's going on. He gasps as he sees his mom right on top face to face, while kissing each other on the lips. Namuri is also shocked by the sudden position they are in. Their faces became a beating red of embarrassment, and their minds blank for what felt like a few hours, but it's really been a few seconds. They quickly separate themselves from each other and stand on their feet, though now feeling awkward about what just happened. So those pancakes? Izuku awkwardly asked. Why yes, the pancakes, let's go before they get cold, Namuri said nervously and walked out shaking a little. Izuku stays behind while his mind is still showing the image of him and Namuri kissing each other from the accident, and he can't get it out of his head, no matter how much he tries to forget. Oh fuck, I kissed my own mom. Izuku thought I was freaking out. Oh fuck, I kissed my own son, Namuri thought, freaking out, while serving the pancakes. After Izuku and Namuri had an awkward breakfast, Izuku said his goodbye and ran out the door as quickly as he could before things become weirder. He walks down the street and takes a shortcut to get to the school faster, then as he stops at the streetlight he hears someone calling out to him. Hey, Izuku baby. A woman called. Izuku turns to his left seeing a familiar running up to him. She's a voluptuous young woman who has purple eyes and long, voluminous creamy blonde hair curled into two strands. She wears her hero costume that's composed of a purple and cream-colored skin-tight bodysuit, which is accented with orange stripes. The suit also has 3 peculiar orange diamond-shaped dots on the purple top that are located under her chest. She also wears a purple domino mask with horn-like protrusions on the sides. Breast sizes. G-cup. She's the new hero in town, calling herself Mount Lady, and a close friend to Izuku and Midnight, also named Utakeyama, whenever she's not on hero duties much. Oh hey Mount Lady, going on patrol on your first day? Izuku asked. Yeah, I'm hoping to make a big entrance while fighting a dangerous villain while looking sexy. You posed sexy, which made Izuku blush a bit. Well, I hope you do awesome and don't let any bastard stand in your way. Izuku encouraged me. Thanks, and I hope to see you on the front line soon. You winked as she hugs his arm between her breasts, making him blush some more. Why yeah, okay. Oh, the light's green, better get going, see ya. Izuku ran across the street. That Izuku sure is cute, especially when he gets all vicious. You squealed in joy. Later at school. Oh man, that was an unexpected morning, Izuku thought with his face pressing on the desk. Hey Deku, a young boy shouted. Izuku groans wanting to deal with this guy right now. He moves his head to see a familiar annoying boy standing right next to him. He's a young man of average height, with ash blonde, spiky hair and sharp red eyes. He wears the black clothing school uniform like Izuku and everyone else. He's Katsuki Bakugo, Izuku's friend and rival since childhood. They've been at each other's throats, even getting into fights sometimes. What do you want, Kakin? Izuku asked, groaning. You, being sad or whatever you're in is annoying, and it's been 10 minutes since school ended. Katsuki pointed at the clock. And why bother telling me, you could have just left? Izuku grunted. I haven't decided on where to go yet, and you being here is no help. Katsuki yelled. Oh, if you're tired of looking at me, maybe I'll cut those idiotic eyes out. Izuku growled as he showed his claws from one arm. Please, I'll blow off those toothpicks before you can even touch me. Katsuki shouted back, showing off the small explosion on his hand. Hey, easy there Bakugo, you guys will get in trouble for using your quirks on school grounds. One of Katsuki's groins reminded that using quirk power in public without a license is prohibited. Izuku and Katsuki growl at each other a moment or two until they look away, bothering to continue this argument any longer. See you later Deku, Katsuki said walking out of the classroom with his friends. Hopefully much later, Kakin, Izuku said packing up his stuff including his old notebooks of all the heroes and their quirks he used to study. That was the time before he lost his memories of his previous life. So far, he made 13 volumes of his quirk book, even though he's not sure himself why he does that whenever he sees new heroes with new quirks to show off. Apparently, it was a hobby he always does, according to some people who knew him and his late blood mother. I wish I could remember you, Mom. Izuku sighed, referring to his first mom Izuku Midoriya. Soon, Izuku was through a different path to get his mind clear from his sad thoughts, wondering if he really deserves to be a hero. Suddenly, his instinct kicks in dodging a slim-like tentacle attack. The attacker reveals himself to be a big slimy creature, probably a transmutation quirk. What the? Izuku is surprised that someone or something tried to sneak up on him as he brings out his claws. Oh, you're fast and very sharp with those claws, you'll be the perfect host for me. The slim villain smirked. Like hell that'll ever happen. Izuku growled, getting ready to fight. The slim villain chuckles as he launches a slimy tentacle at the boy who slashes it away. Then more tentacles come in as he slashes them more while dodging at the same time. However, unnoticed to him that a small thin slim is creeping its way to his feet, then lashes on his leg. What? Izuku gasped as the slim grew from the leg to his whole body, barely leaving the head. Thanks kid, this body of yours is gonna do big wonders for me. The slim villain said as he slowly started to take over Izuku's body. No, not like this. Izuku tried to break free but failed. Never fear, boy. A loud hype man shouted from behind. The slim villain turns around and gasps at seeing someone the whole world knows. A very large man with an equally muscular and well-defined physique. He has short blonde hair with two distinct bangs that stand up over his head. His hair casts a dark shadow over his face, hiding everything but his deep blue eyes. He's wearing a white shirt and brown-yellow pants. This man is All Might, the #1 hero, the symbol of peace. Izuku was barely conscious as the slim covering most of his head and in his mouth caused suffocation, but he got one good look at All Might. Because I am here, All Might said. Remarkably, this child is like those legendary heroes of old age so long ago before quirks. A scientist excited looking at the clipboard. The 9-year-old Izuku is seen struggling to break free the examination table, looking scared of all the men around him wearing lab coats, but couldn't make out their faces for some reason. Perhaps with this quirk, our master will be fully healed. Another scientist said. Yes, but first I want to see how far we can push that power. The leader scientist smirked evilly. Izuku got scared even more not knowing what these men are going to do to him about his quirk, and feared that their experiments are about to get worse for him. He wished his mother or any hero were here to save him right now. Now, it's time we move up with the experiment. Then everything went black. Dreamscape end. Hey kid, wake up, please. The large muscle man slapped Izuku on the cheek repeatedly. Izuku instantly shot his eyes open and lashed out in blinded rage from the nightmare, with his claws out swinging them randomly, as the large man quickly steps back. Whoa, easy there young man, I'm not here to hurt you, I promise as a hero, the man said. Izuku soon calms himself down by breathing deeply. Sorry about that, Izuku just paused as he saw the man standing right in front of him. The man is a very large man with an equally muscular and well-defined physique. His appearance resembles a typical Western comic book superhero. He has short blonde hair with two distinct bangs that stand up over his head. His hair casted a dark shadow over his face, hiding everything but his deep blue eyes. He wears a white shirt and slightly dark green pants. Hold on, your All Might. Izuku's eyes widened with a major realization that he is now seeing the #1 hero in the world right in front of him. Ahaha, sorry about getting you involved young man, but I was trying to catch that sludge villain as quickly as I could, but the sewer systems are difficult to navigate. All Might apologized. And no need to worry about the villain, I trapped him. All Might pulled out a bottle showing the sludge villain trapped in his small prison. It's really All Might, I gotta get his autograph. Izuku said, getting his notebook and discovered he already signed. Oh my god. Thank you so much. I can't wait to show this to my mom. Izuku was excited. Yes, I know Midnight would be happy to hear of your experiences moments ago. All Might blurted out. Izuku stopped himself upon hearing All Might saying his mom's hero name. Wait, you know my mom? Izuku asked. Sorry, got to go turn this villain in. All Might said before jumping high gliding in the air. While on his way, All Might felt pain in his body. Oh no, I'm at my limit. All Might thought, then he felt something on his leg. Looking down, gasps of seeing Izuku hanging on to his leg for dear life. Hey kid, you know that's not safe. All Might pointed out. Sorry, it just sounded like you know my mom well. Izuku was scared. Oh yes, huh, how about we talk about it when we land? All Might suggested. Sure. Izuku agreed. Well, it looks like the son will learn the secret like the mother. All Might thought. With Midnight is seen sitting at her desk in the teacher lounge, just finished doing some paperwork after another hard day in UA, working with some students, seeing them having potential of being pros. She took out her phone to check the time. Izuku should be out by now. I hope he hasn't gotten himself into trouble, especially with that Bakugo kid. Midnight worries. Sometimes whenever things get really intense between Izuku and Kitsuki, they end up fighting each other, trying to see who's the better fighter, and the mothers always have to stop them before things get out of control. Well, on the bright side, Izuku will be coming to UA soon, and he may end up in my class. Midnight squealed of excitement, spending the day with her adopted son in school. Just as long as you two don't have any sex on school grounds, then I'll be okay with it. Eraserhead said, walking past with a cup of coffee in his hand. What are you, bastard? Midnight snapped of anger and embarrassment with her cheeks blushing. Relax, I was only teasing. Eraserhead smirked before exiting the room. Midnight let out a heavy sigh as she is reminded of the kiss this morning with Izuku that wouldn't get out of her head, and Shota's teasing only made it more difficult. Damn it, he's my son. I can't do that to him. Midnight thought, leaning back looking at the ceiling. But maybe we could be, Midnight said to herself. Back with Izuku and All Might. So, as you see, I need to keep people believing in the symbol of peace, otherwise there'll be no hope for the world. All Might finished explaining as he is now in his weak true form in front of Izuku. Oh man, I have no idea even the mightiest hero like you would have gone through all that. Izuku said, feeling sad for his idol. Well, now you know everything about me, I should be going. All Might said, getting up on his feet. Wait, does my mom know? Izuku asked. About my limit and form, yes, she and some other heroes in UA are keeping it a secret. All Might answered. I also want to wish you luck in the USA. Considering what you went through, I hope you'll need it. All Might said before walking away, heading inside. Yeah, thanks, Izuku said, now alone on the roof of a building, thinking hard on the All Might's battle with his battle 5 years ago, and wondering if things will be okay for long. I don't know why, if I ever find the guy who hurt All Might, he's dead. Izuku angered, unsheathing his claws on one hand. Izuku's phone suddenly went off, snapping him out of his angry thoughts. He pulled it out from his pocket, and saw that he got a text message from his mom. Midnight. Hi sweetie, how was your day? Izuku. Doing great, a little better you could say. Midnight. Oh, did you find a girlfriend? Izuku. No mom, I was just rescued by a hero when a villain tried to attack me. Midnight. What? Where's that fucking bastard? I'll teach him not to mess with my baby. Izuku. Don't worry mom, I'm fine and the villain has been dealt with. Midnight. Phew, that nearly scared me to death. See you at home. Izuku put his phone back in his pocket and started walking down the stairs of the building, deciding on heading home for today, hoping things will be peaceful. Later, I wonder what mom is going to cook for dinner tonight. Izuku thought as he's walking, then someone ran past, bumping on his shoulder with a panicked look on his face. Whoa, easy dude, where's the fire? Izuku asked sarcastically. Fire is happening at just around the corner. I heard a villain is taking a middle school student hostage. The man reported, freaking before running to see the scene himself. Izuku became worried that a fellow student like him had been captured by a villain like he was earlier by that sludge villain, and ran to the scene as well, hoping the heroes had everything under control. He saw a whole crowd gathering to see the battle. While sounding worried of what's going on, Izuku pushes through the crowd wanting to get a better view, and to his horror that the student being held hostage by the villain is Katsuki himself. What the kaken? Izuku gasped in fear, more that the villain is the same sludge villain from before. That villain, how the hell did get here? Izuku thought. Then he began to realize something. Flashback, thinking back on when Izuku was waking from his unconscious and swinging his claws, almost hitting All Might. It must have been when I woke up, when All Might was holding the bottle with the villain inside. The scene zooms in close, seeing Izuku's claws touching the bottle and creating a small hole in it. Flashback end. That means it's all my fault. Izuku thought, scared that he would cause this. Damn it, isn't there anything we can do? Death Arms asked, angry that they haven't saved the kid yet. There's too much fire for my wood Quirk to do anything. Kamui Woods pointed as he got 2 boys to safety. Oh man, if the space wasn't so small I would have gone over there by now. Mount Lady winced, cursing herself for being too big in this case. The other heroes who are here tried their best to save Katsuki from the sludge villain, but every time they got close, he would use them as a shield, and attack them back while slowly taking over Katsuki's body. Katsuki struggles to break free, but even using his explosion quirk had proven ineffective to the sludge villain. All Might arrives at the scene to his horror. The villain he captured before is going on a rampage with a kid in its clutches, like what he was trying to do to Izuku. He felt hopeless that he can't do anything right, not with already being at his limit, and pleaded for anyone to save the day. Suddenly jumping from out of the crowd and heading towards Katsuki and the sludge villain, Izuku charges in with everyone, including All Might is surprised by the sudden action, and Izuku himself is more surprised about it himself. What the Izuku? Mount Lady shocked. Stop him, the sludge's murder. Death Arms warned. The sludge villain saw the kid he tried to capture earlier is coming to him. You again? Sorry kid, but I got a new favorite toy, and you're yesterday's trash. Sludge villain insulted and threw some of his tentacles at Izuku. Why am I running? My legs won't stop, and Izuku brought out his claws and sliced the tentacles into pieces. I'm more pissed off than ever. The sludge villain started getting a little worried that the kid could rescue the exploding. He quickly looked around and found a broken metal spear, grabbing it and aiming it at Izuku. Let's see how you like this. The sludge villain smirked, throwing the spear at Izuku, who's busy dealing with the tentacles, to notice. Izuku gasps when the spear impales right through Izuku's stomach as everyone is shocked by fear. The ha looks like you'll be dying like a hero, brat. The sludge villain mocked. Izuku Mount Lady screamed. How is she going to explain this to Midnight that her son was killed? However, Katsuki started laughing a bit instead of being consumed in fear. The sludge villain noticed this, wondering if the kid is going insane or something. He decided to let him speak one last time. You stupid villain, I guess you never knew that Deku also has a damn-ass healing quirk that makes him unkillable. Katsuki revealed. What? The sludge villain gasped. Looking back at Izuku, who was still standing, and pulled the spear out of his stomach with a mighty scream, and the wound instantly healed. Impossible, everyone's eyes widen like they're about to pop out of their heads, and their jaws drop that a boy is still alive from being impaled. Mount Lady knows that it still freaks her out whenever she sees something piercing through Izuku. Here, you can have this back. Izuku shouted before throwing the spear, slightly hitting the eye, making it scream in pain and loosen its grip on Katsuki. Hang on, Kaken, Izuku said, pulling his best friend rival out. Damn it, Deku, you're really stupid for coming here. Katsuki said. Well, sorry that my legs just move on their own. Izuku said as he pulled harder, slowly getting to the waist. It was then that Izuku started having flashbacks of himself growing up as a child with Midnight, all the good and bad times, some training they did, all the notebooks he wrote down over the years, all the times when he and Katsuki would always compete to see who is better, though enjoying each other's time, all the way to today meeting All Might. Then suddenly a new memory pops up, the memory of the time with his previous mom hugging each other and hearing her words. I know you're going to be a great hero someday. I'll always love you. I'm done playing with you. the sludge villain angered with its arm up ready to strike. Izuku quickly snapped out of his thoughts to see the incoming attack, but it was too late to do anything as he braced himself. He heard a crashing sound but didn't feel anything. I really am pathetic. Izuku opens his eyes to see All Might covering in the sludge villain's arm shielding the boys. I told you the traits that make a great champion, but I see now I wasn't living up to my own ideal. All Might said, admiring Izuku's while grabbing onto Kitsuki and Izuku. Pros are always risking their lives. That's the true test of a hero. All Might shouted as blood spits out of his mouth. Damn you, All Might. The sludge villain angered. Detroit Smash All Might threw a mighty punch that created a tornado that nearly blew everything away, as everyone held on to not get blown away. The tornado soon died down seeing the villain has been blown away by the wind. Then seconds later rain started pouring down on the whole area. Everyone realizes that All Might changed the weather with a single punch, and saved the day, as they all cheers for the symbol of peace, as All Might hold up a fist, showing everyone that everything is fine. Soon, the police and heroes gathered the remains of the sludge villain in plastic bags, ready to be taken away. All Might is being surrounded by reporters and cameramen wanting to get a close-up with him, while Izuku and Kitsuki are sitting down as the heroes check up on them, making sure they're okay. Sheesh Izuku, you really are crazy to go in like that just to save someone. Mount Lady sighed, sitting next to Izuku. Well, being a hero means you have to take risks to save that one person. Izuku said. Mount Lady smiled, seeing he's going to be a fine hero someday. Then suddenly a car drove here at high speed and stopped right across to where the scene was. The car door opened to reveal Midnight with a very angry face, and surrounded by a vicious red aura. Except when it comes to an angry mom. Izuku said, nervously scared. Midnight glared as she marched towards her son. Mount Lady quickly gets up and moves away from Izuku, not wanting to face her wrath today, as she hides behind death arms. Oh, hey mom, what are you doing here? Izuku asked as he started to sweat like bullets. I was on my way home until I heard from some men that a boy with claws was fighting a villain, and got impaled by a spear. Midnight explained as she slapped his whip, scarring some of the heroes here. Yeah, I was, but I'm all healed up and All Might's here, so everything's good. Izuku pointed out, but Midnight is still angry. Midnight walks right up to Izuku and raises her whip up in the air, as he braces himself for the punishment, but instead to his surprise, Midnight actually drops to her knees, and hugs him tightly, as the whip drops on the ground. Izuku, you really had me worried. Midnight sobbed with tears coming down her cheeks. Sorry, it is just that I couldn't just stand there and watch Kaken die. Izuku said softly, hugging his mom back. Kitsuki just looked away thinking what they're doing is annoying, as everyone else felt emotionally of the bond between mother and son, as one asked another for a tissue. It seems you're more special than just your quirk, and now I have found my successor. All Might thought of looking at Midnight and Izuku hugging. Thanks for watching this video. Part 1 is over. If you really enjoy this video, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and turn on that bell notification. And also check out the playlist that I have created, and enjoy. Link is in the description. See you in the next video. Goodbye.